Hi, I'm Sarah Hughes, Head of Marketing at InMobi Commerce, and I'm here at Shoptalk Day interviewing some retail media experts on the future of the space and innovations. And I've got some of our friends with us from ADSTA, and I'll let them introduce themselves and tell you a little bit about what they do.
Well, thanks, Sarah. I'm Shawn Tuckett. I'm one of the principals at ADSTA, really focusing in on the independent retail space and excited to do this.
Great, thanks a lot. I'm Al Jones. I'm managing the CPG content for our network of north of 3,500 stores.
One of the first questions I kind of like to start with is, why do you think retail media has gotten so popular lately?
Well, I think retail media just offers such a efficient way for retailers to optimize their revenue and find new revenue streams. So whereas it's so hard to find new ways to make money at the store with the small margins and just the challenges that grocery stores have always faced, retail media opens up a channel that really has a huge growth opportunity, and it's just a valuable initiative for retailers to be really prioritizing at this point.
Yeah, and I'd just like to add, I think as we see a lot of things move from print to digital, it's a real opportunity for the independent retailers to add some very valuable digital content, whether it be awareness type campaigns, promotional campaigns, digital couponing, all of the fintech stuff. There's just lots and lots of opportunities that exist out there.
How are you working with your brands to better work with retailers to kind of make those new digital consumer experiences?
Sure. I think one of the big opportunities is taking a lot of these scale events that the CPGs have spent a lot of manpower putting together, running events. Give an example of Kraft Heinz and Paw Patrol, or some of the interesting things that they're putting together. But now getting that media content out to the shoppers while they're shopping, and tying that into all of the brand equity that they're trying to garner.
You guys talk a little bit about what are some of the struggles that these independent grocers are facing, and how is ADSTA and the technology that you're doing helping empower these smaller grocers to participate in retail media?
Sure. So you're absolutely right. Independents, they sit in a tough spot when it comes to the CPGs and having access to, the national campaigns that Al talked about. But the beauty of ADSTA is that it really creates an efficient channel for the CPGs to engage with. So whereas a large company, a large Kraft or Procter & Gamble isn't going to go after every 10, 20, 30 store chain. It's just like herding cats. It's just not going to happen. But if you take those stores and you combine them together into one network where now a CPG can do a single buy and actually get access to all 3,500 stores across that network, it's one implementation, it's one set of creative. I mean, that just opens up a whole new opportunity for them to really engage with a group of stores that's larger than Kroger in terms of store count. So you really just open up a new opportunity for these CPGs to really be able to just expand their reach and reach audiences that normally they would have skipped because it was just too inefficient. Now with ADSTA, other technologies like it, they have the ability to engage these folks in a way more efficient way than they did in the past.
Do you have anything to add?
Well, the only thing I'd like to add, it's kind of interesting when you're looking at digital assets and getting them out to these independents. It's often very difficult for one chain to manage all those assets, and also the communication back and forth to get the specs right, to do all of that. And we can make that simple and easy and make that so that they're good for all of the retailers. And I like to give the suggestion, and that we can do, if you get us those assets, we in a very short amount of time can have them out there running live and get them at 100% compliance, which I know is very important.
So our last question of the interview, in the next 3 to 5 years, where do you guys see retail media evolving, and maybe specifically in the independent grocery space?
I think you're going to see huge growth. I mean, it's already since 2020, retail media has become the topic of the CPG world, and I mean, it's you can't go to a conference now without seeing million sessions on it and just all kinds of different thought leadership. And so I think we're at we're at a growth stage right now. I think in 3 years, 5 years, I think this is going to just become the table stakes. Everybody's going to need to be doing it. I think the great thing for the independents is that they sit in a position where, yes, they aren't the first priority. They aren't the Krogers. They aren't the Albertsons. They aren't the Targets, the Walmarts. But it always trickles down to them. As those other areas become saturated, as they become more expensive, as there's more competition for those top retailers, the CPGs now have an opportunity with the independents to really differentiate themselves, get access to shoppers that they may have missed otherwise, and still really get that reach that they're looking for, get connected with shoppers that they wouldn't otherwise. And so I think 3 years from now, retail media is going to have fully traveled down to the independent as well. They'll be getting the same opportunities as what the national chains are today.
Awesome.
Again, I totally agree, Shawn, with everything you said. I think it's also important that the consumer is really what you're trying to advertise to. And that consumer is not monolithic. They don't just shop in one store. So that if you're able to effectively get your messaging across to that consumer, then that's just good for the industry in all facets. So thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you both for talking with me today. Can you let our listeners know where they can find you?
St. Petersburg, Florida. No, you can find us at ADSTA.com. That's ADSTA.com. And you can also find us on LinkedIn, Shawn Tuckett and Al Jones.
Right. And encourage you to go to our website and see that. And if you're also interested, there's a way to get in contact with us there too. So great. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks.